And we move to Rutgers. Rutgers, a team that surprised many. Home court advantage was as high as ever because the fans knew that they were a very solid team. The defensive juggernaut in the conference with the best adjusted defensive efficiency, according to KenPom, in the conference. But now you have your major pieces returning. Now what do you do? I think that's something that is going to have to be a big, big thing. You have the expectation on your back now. Now what, Dom?
Yeah, you hit on everything that I was going to say. The returning Ron Harper and Geo Baker, their two biggest scorers, great defensive team last year, and they only had one home loss on the entire year. So Rutgers, their surprising year led to a good recruiting class. It shows that if you win, it'll pay in recruiting. They're the number 6 recruiting class in the nation. They were able to get, I believe, a solid 4-star recruit out of the state of New Jersey. So I'm high on Rutgers this year. They were a surprising tournament bid team last year. I don't think anyone was expecting that. I think a lot of people expected them to be down at the bottom of the conference alongside Nebraska and Northwestern, but they surprised a lot of people. That a lot of that was due to Ron Harper coming in and stepping up.
Yeah, and first off, I just want to make something completely clear. The defensive part of it's going to have to stay for this team to have any chance of being what they were last year. Their offensive efficiency, I talked about the defensive efficiency, but of the 12 teams outside Northwestern and Nebraska, of the top 12 in the Big Ten, Rutgers was last in adjusted offensive efficiency. Close, but still last. And that is something that is going to have to be improved upon. First off, if the offensive thing doesn't improve, and if the defensive efficiency drops off even to outside the top 20 in KenPom, this is a team that might have some trouble. And I'm not sure where you see this, Don, but I think that defensive efficiency is going to have to be once again near the top of the nation.
Yeah, all signs point to their defense not being as good as it was last year, but all signs also point to their offense being better than it was last year. That's just normally how these things go. And it's similar to Purdue without the home court advantage. It's going to be, is their offense going to improve more, or is their defense going to regress more? That's the big storyline for Rutgers.
And how hungry is this team too after being ripped apart of your first NCAA tournament appearance in years, after being a bottom feeder in the Big Ten for so long. That's going to be a big thing for Rutgers too. And looking at some of the KenPom numbers, the only major reds that pop up are in the shooting. And that is going to be something it needs to improve. It needs to, point blank. Outside the top 200 effective field goal percentage is not going to cut it. And especially in a year to where perhaps the only thing you are evaluated on, if you cannot get marquee non-conference games, is your conference games. And when we get closer to March, these are going to be questions we're asking is, how is this evaluation process going to change with less games and less things to go off of? Rutgers may be a team that does get marked down a bit because of that inability to have as many non-conference games. And if Rutgers, first off, if they don't succeed in non-conference, I think they are screwed. And I'm not sure if it matters if they finish 5th, 6th, or maybe even 4th. Last year, losing to St. Bonaventure, last year losing to Pittsburgh in non-conference, let's say that's 2 of their 5, 6, maybe 7 non-conference games. If those 2 losses pop up, if 2 similar losses pop up again, those 2 losses, even with a 6th, 7th place Big Ten finish this year, that could cost them a spot in the tournament. And I can not really almost guarantee it, but that's something that is going to have to really get going. They have to go non-conference. And of course, non-conference goes right now, they are highly fluctuating. They're fluctuating really every week at this point. And not saying that's going to have to be a big deal for Rutgers, is making sure they do not slip up in the non-conference to me.